The best workplaces are filled with collaboration, teamwork, and shared activities. Positive results come from a team where everyone works towards a shared goal. Each member knows their role and responsibilities, and clear communication makes collaborating something to look forward to. But how do you facilitate that with a modern team? With Microsoft 365, of course. I'm Courtney Hodge, a program manager at Microsoft, and I'm passionate about helping people use technology to make their lives easier. In this course, I'll give you the tools to maximize Microsoft Teams to support your communication and collaboration. I'll teach you how to use SharePoint to work with your team and create engaging sites to get people excited about events or programs. I'll show you how to integrate these tools into your team's workflow and how to gain new efficiency in everything you do at work. I don't know about you, but group projects were never my favorite in school. But learning to utilize Microsoft Teams and SharePoint makes working with your team easy and efficient. So, if you're ready to take your teamwork to the next level, let's jump right in. The best teams, the groups that stand out above the rest, work incredibly well together. Each individual team member understands the end goal, stays focused, and willingly and enthusiastically collaborates. Microsoft's chat based workspace, Teams, is the perfect place to make that engagement and collaboration happen in your workplace. In this lesson, I'll show you why Teams is such a great tool to make the most of your team. Let's dive in. In the top left corner of Office.com, select the app launcher and open Teams. Before discussing specific features in Teams, I want to explain the layout. The Teams homepage has a menu to the left and a search bar at the top. Select Activity to see your feed. This is where you'll find mentions, replies, and other notifications. If you select Filter and More Options, you can search for a specific type of activity, like mentions, replies, or reactions. Chat is one of the main ways you can quickly communicate with people or groups. Select Chat to see the different conversations you're having with groups or individuals. You can filter in chat to show unread chats, meetings, or muted chats. Selecting teams allows you to see all the teams you are a member or owner of. Teams is the ultimate filter when it comes to workflow. A team can house your communication and files in one place so you can compartmentalize your work into specific projects or groups. You can call an individual or jump on a conference call with voice and or video. If you select calls, you can see your call history and your contacts. Select contacts and you can see a list of all your contacts. You can also add contacts here using the Add Contact button. The search bar can save you valuable time searching for content in Teams. You can search for contacts, messages, files, and more all in one place. With an integration with Outlook, you have access to your calendar in the place you work. As you're working and collaborating with teammates, you may want to know when you're free for a follow up chat or to work on a task. Select Calendar to find your scheduled meetings. And finally, you've got access to OneDrive right here. Need to quickly access a file you're collaborating on? Selecting files will allow you to access files in Teams and OneDrive. Now that you understand the value and the layout of Teams, you're ready to get into action. Building a team takes time. You need to transfer or recruit the right members, build relationships, and trust each other. On the other hand, creating a team in Microsoft Teams takes hardly any time at all. In this lesson, I'll use an upcoming event I'm working on, the Skills Conference, to show you how to set up a team using templates to save even more time. Let's jump in. Once I'm in Teams, I'll select Teams from the left menu. Then select Join or Create a Team from the bottom. If you were joining a team that someone else had created, you might be given a code to join a specific team and you'd select Join a Team. Since this conference doesn't have a team set up already, as the manager, I'll need to create one. So I'll select Create Team. I can either create a team from scratch or from a template. I see a Manage an Event template, which will work great for this. I'll select that option to get started. Here, Teams will display an overview of the channels and apps associated with that template. Just select Next to continue. Next up is the privacy level. Because I don't want anyone to access my team without me inviting them, I'll make it private. For naming the team, I want to be brief but descriptive. Since I'm planning a conference, I'll name it Skills Conference. I also include a description to give the members a way to know what the team is about. Like all templates, this one comes with pre-made channels. Think of a channel as a place to talk about a specific topic. When I manage events, I need to create channels where the whole team can discuss broad topics and other channels where smaller groups can talk about specific subjects. If I expand customized channels, I can see all the channels for this team. The general channel is automatically created with every team and cannot be deleted. Most of these other channels are useful here, but my team won't be a part of any budget related conversations. So I'll rename that one Technology since our conference will be hybrid this year. I can rename the channel by selecting Budget and replacing the channel name. I can save my change by clicking on Customize Channels. At this point, everything is set up, and I'll select Create Team. Now, it does take a little while for a team to get set up, so just be patient and come back a little bit later. As you can see, it doesn't take much effort to create a team. When you're able to create a team, you're in a position to start streamlining communication and collaboration for your next event or project. Keeping everyone on the same page makes any team more efficient. But when new members join, valuable time can be wasted in bringing them up to speed. With Microsoft Teams, modifying who's part of your team is simple and easy. In this lesson, I'll show you how to add team members and manage their roles in teams. To show you how, I've created a team for a conference I'm working on. To bring everyone together to collaborate, I need to make sure they are added to the team. I'll start on the main teams page. To find the Skills Conference team, I'll use the menu to select teams from the sidebar. Here you can see a list of all my teams. I'll navigate to the Skills Conference team and select More Options. Then select Add Member. Since I'll be adding new members that are already a part of my organization, I'll be able to add them by typing in their name or email address and then selecting Add. To add people outside of your organization is a little different. You still add them using their email address, but they will be added to the team as a guest. Guest roles cannot be changed. When someone inside your organization is added to a team, their initial role is member, but you can change their role to owner if you want. Owners have the same permissions as members, but can also delete your team and add or remove team members. You can change a member's role to owner by selecting the drop down menu next to their assigned role. In case the team needs editing when I'm away, I'll add my colleague Isaiah as an owner. Now that you can add team members to a team and assign their roles, you can start gathering the right people together to collaborate on a project or event. Isn't it frustrating when you can't change a setting or access a tool you need to do your job? In this lesson, I'll show you how to manage the permissions of your team members so that everyone has the access they need to do their jobs effectively. When managing a team, you need to decide what access your team members should have. And you can make sure your team has the appropriate access by using the Manage Team Settings feature. To manage the settings for my team, I'll select More Options, then select Manage Team. I can now access the Settings tab. Here, I can manage multiple settings for my team. For now, I'm just going to focus on member permissions. To control the team's workflow, I only want owners to be able to change the channels in our team. So in member permissions, I'll deselect allow members to create and update channels, and also deselect allow members to delete and restore channels. I'll make sure guests have the same access. Now you know how to adjust the settings to make teams work in a way that's perfect for your group. Take your time making sure your team members and guests have the access they need, and you can feel confident about protecting the teams you own. Like on a television, radio, or even walkie talkie, different channels have their own unique purpose and their own unique conversations. In teams, channels are used to help organize files, communications, and people around different topics to keep team members connected to what they need to maximize their workflow. In this lesson, I'll show you how to add and remove channels for your team so that you can make sure the right people are connecting and collaborating in the right places. I'll start in the team I've created for an upcoming skills conference. I've already created a team, added members, and given members appropriate access. Now I want to begin organizing the places where we will collaborate and communicate. Currently, the logistics channel is open to everyone on the team, and anyone that is a part of the skills conference team will have access to all files and chats. I would prefer to make logistics private for only the team members that are working on logistics directly. But after a channel is created, you can't make it private. Now I need to delete this channel to recreate it as a private channel. I'll delete it by selecting the More Options button beside the name of the channel and selecting Delete this channel. It's important to remember that when you delete a channel, you delete everything in the channel. So make sure when you're ready to delete, you're ready to delete everything. To recreate this same channel as a private channel, I'll go back to the team's name and select More Options. Then select Add Channel. It prompts me to enter a name. I will name this channel Logistics Internal. Now I can adjust this channel's privacy. I only want to share this with selected team members, so I'll choose Private and then select Create. Now that I've created a private channel, I'm able to add only those select members that need access. I'll add one of my teammates to this channel by typing in their name, selecting Add, and making sure the team member has the appropriate access. I click Done, and my team member has been added to my channel. Now, when there's new activity happening, like a new message, only myself and other invited teammates will see it. So that's it. You're now in control of access to information in your teams. Try adding channels to your team and test out which end up getting used a lot and which channels end up silent. In the workplace, you don't always have the time or a quiet space to take a phone call, so chatting can be a lot more practical. Using the chat feature in Teams allows you to have a flexible conversation when you want to reach out to people in your organization quickly. In this lesson, I will show you how to use Teams to easily and quickly communicate. In this example, I'll show you what to do if I wanted to reach out to a teammate just to check in on the status of a meeting. Let's go. Once I'm in Teams, I'll select Chat to get started. I have quick access to my recent chats here. But if you want to start a new chat or can't find the chat you need in your recent chats, you can select the New Chat button. As the chat window opens, you can enter who you want to send the chat to, either a specific individual or a group. Simply type in the name or email of the person you want to chat with and select their name or email to add them to the chat. From here, you can also add more people. If you want to remove anyone from the message, you can select the X next to their name. At this point, I can begin typing in my message. Isaiah is working with me on an upcoming skills conference. I want to know if Isaiah is planning to come to the planning meeting next week. So I'll just send him a message to ask. I'll type in my message, then select send. I've now sent my message, and I can continue working and wait for Isaiah to respond. Once Isaiah responds, I get a notification, and I can also find the activity in chat. Now that you know how to communicate with chats and teams, you can feel confident in reaching out to anyone in your organization. Sometimes the best way to communicate with your team is by picking up the phone and talking to them. Teams allows you to do just that using an internet connection without using an actual phone. In this lesson, I'll show you the different ways to make direct phone calls using Teams. Once you're in Teams, there are several ways to make calls. First, I'll show you how to call a contact directly from a chat. To call from a chat, open the chat you want to call from. Calling from a chat will call everyone in the chat. In the upper right corner, you can see there's a button for a video or audio call. When you're ready to make your call, simply select video call or audio call, and Teams will connect you. Next, I'll show you how to make calls using calls. Select calls from the left side of the app. From the phone tab, you can make a call by entering the name of the person you want to join the call in the type of name box. You can add multiple people here. Then select call to make the call. Another way to make calls is to select someone from your call history. Just hover over a previous call and select the call button once it appears. You can also make calls from your contacts tab. Find the contact you would like to call, then select the type of call you want to make, either a video call or an audio call. Here you can also send a direct message or an email to any one of your contacts. I want to call Isaiah so we can chat about a meeting we just had for an upcoming skills conference that we're planning. Before I call, I want to check his presence. Presence shows your availability and status to others and is part of your profile in Teams. To help you better understand presence, I'll show you the different presence states and how to change your status in Teams. The little dot on my profile indicates my availability. To change your availability, go to your profile and select a status from the list. There are different symbols for each status, so take a moment to familiarize yourself with them. There are symbols to indicate when you're available, busy, when you don't want to be disturbed, when you are away, and when you are offline. I want to call Isaiah, but I can see that Isaiah is in Do Not Disturb, so I won't call him now. But I see Lynn is available and she might have the information I need, so I'll give her a call. Now that you know how to make phone calls in Teams, find a way to use each of these methods to make calls on your teams. Communication is key to the success of any team. Using text-based messages to communicate is efficient, fast, and keeps everyone in the loop. In this lesson, I'll show you how to post messages in all your team's channels to keep your teammates connected. For this example, I've already opened Teams and created a team to collaborate on an upcoming conference that we're all working on together. I want to communicate to everyone on my Microsoft team by welcoming them and sharing how excited I am to work on this event. To do this, I select my announcements channel. Starting from the Post tab, I'll select New Conversation and I can begin my announcement. I want to make sure I get my team's attention. You can use mentions to send a notification to an individual, a channel, or a team. I'll mention the entire team by entering at Skills Conference and selecting the team. Now I can type in my message. And now I can click send. By mentioning the Skills Conference team, I've ensured that everybody in the Skills Conference team received a notification that I've posted this message. In addition to sending a notification to an entire group, I can also get the attention of an individual. When posting in a channel, everyone can see and respond to the post. If there's a message that should be private, sending a direct message or chat is best. I want to ask Joni to share the draft planning document with the team in the planning channel. I'll navigate to the planning channel and select the Posts tab. I'll start a new conversation and I'll use the @ symbol and type in Joni's name to mention her in my post. Using mention ensures that Joni gets a notification that I've posted. Now that you know how to communicate with messages in a channel and how to draw attention to your messages using mentions, practice these techniques to streamline your communication with your team. Sometimes you need your message to stand out. A larger font, different colors, or maybe something more. All these make your message clearer. In this lesson, I'll show you how to edit the formatting of your team's posts to highlight your message and make key items more apparent. Since I am responsible for planning a skills conference with a team of people, it will be a great example to show. For this example, I've already opened Teams and created a team to collaborate on an upcoming conference that we're all working on together. I've created a team to streamline our work and communication, but I also want to share some upcoming tasks that need to be completed. I want to use some additional formatting features to add to my post. So I'll go to Announcements and select New Conversation, then select Format. From here, I'll change and edit the announcement before I post it. I'll use a heading and bullets to share the action items for the week. The mention feature is used to get the attention of people or groups for specific action items. Since I want the marketing and PR group to have a draft flyer, I'll mention this group in the first item in my list. I want Joni to set up a call for the team. I can mention her and ask her to set up a call. I'll make this the second item on my list. I need everyone on the team to submit weekly updates, so I need to make that task stand out. So I'll go to the formatting ribbon, select bold, then select change font color and choose blue. Now I'll type in a task for everyone. Now my text really stands out. My post looks good. To send it to the team, I'll select send and off it goes. Formatting a post is a really simple way to make what you have to say really stand out. Now you can make your messages do more for you. Upload, download, rename, delete. All this file management is key to your workflow. But what's the best way to keep your shared files inside Microsoft Teams organized? Folders. In this lesson, I'll show you how to enhance your team's organization and workflow by creating new files and folders in Teams. For this example, I've already opened Teams and created a team to collaborate on an upcoming conference. I'm working on a skills conference with my team. I've created a draft flyer for the presenters of the conference, but I don't yet have a draft flyer for attendees. So I first want to set up folders to keep my flyers organized. A flyer is a marketing tool, so I'll first go to the marketing and PR channel. Next, I'll select the Files tab. Now I can set up the folders for the files to go into. I need folders to separate the marketing for attendees and presenters. So I will create those new folders by selecting Add New and choosing Folder. I'll name my folder Attendee Marketing and select Create. I've now created a folder in the marketing channel for attendee marketing files. I'll do the same for presenter marketing by once again selecting Add New, choosing Folder, and I'll name this folder Presenter Marketing and select Create. While in the Files tab, I want to go into the Attendees Marketing folder and clicking the folder. This takes me to the content of this folder. It's empty right now since I just created the folder. Now from inside this folder, I can create the new file. I'll select New and then select PowerPoint Presentation. I'll name this presentation Draft Attendee Flyer. Once I select create, it takes me to my new PowerPoint presentation. I use PowerPoint for flyers just to use the designer features. I can use the navigation pane on the left side to get back to the Files tab for my marketing channel. And if I go to the attending marketing folder, I can see my presentation. Now you can create and organize files in Teams. An important part of collaboration is gathering input from team members about the work you're creating. Teams channels make it easy to share your work. In this lesson, I'll show you how to pass files back and forth with your teammates in your Microsoft Teams channels. In this example, I'm working on a skills conference and I have a team and channels set up. There are two ways to add a file to a Teams channel. You can share a file in the posts, or you can add a file to the File tab in the channel. Let's dive in to see this in action. For this example, I've already opened Teams and created a team to collaborate on an upcoming conference. I'll first show you how to share a file in a post in a channel. I want to share a list of the rooms we have for the conference and the number of people that can fit in each room. In the logistics channel, I will create a post and then select attach to attach my file to the post. I will select attach from the menu in the conversation and navigate to the file I want to attach. Once I select the file, I'll choose upload a copy. The file is now attached to my message. I can now select send and post the file to the logistics channel. Once the file is posted, I can find the file in the Files tab in the Logistics channel. In addition to sharing files in a post in a channel, I can also upload files directly to the Files tab. Adding files directly to the Files tab allows you to manage the file structure or where the files are placed. I want to share a flyer in the Marketing channel, so I'll start there and select the Files tab. The flyer I'm uploading is a draft flyer for presenters at the conference. So I want to select the presenter marketing folder to open it. I already have this document, so I'll choose upload from the menu. I'll select files and I'll select my draft speaker flyer. Open it. My document is now in this folder. Now that you can share files with your team through posts and in the Files tab, you'll be collaborating with your team in no time. Time is precious. When your team is frequently using a document, you can save everyone time by adding that document to a tab. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to add tabs to your channels to help your team get to their most needed content swiftly. For this example, I've already opened Teams and created a team to collaborate on an upcoming conference. I'm working on a skills conference with my team. I've already created a team with specific channels, but I want to make it even easier for my team to collaborate and complete their work. My logistics team is constantly using and adjusting the rooms that will be used for the skills conference. Everyone is collaborating in the same file, and that's great. The file is in the Files tab for my logistics channel, but I want to make it even easier for them to access this frequently used file. So I'm going to add this file as a tab in the logistics channel so it can be accessed with one step. First, I need to go to my logistics channel. Then I'll go to the Files tab and select Show Actions next to the file name. A window will pop up giving me several actions I can take with this file. I can open it, copy it, rename it, and more. But for right now, I just want to make this file a tab, and so I'll select Make this a tab. The file is now a tab in my logistics channel, making it easy to access by everyone in the channel. You can add a variety of tabs in your channels. To see all the available options for adding tabs in your channels, select the Add a Tab button. You can add websites, files from different apps like Word, OneNote, Excel, and PowerPoint. There's so much to explore. Adding tabs to your channels is easy. Try it out to make it easier for your team to access the items they need quickly. SharePoint can do many things: run websites, store files, host resources, all from your browser. In this lesson, I'll show you SharePoint's key features so that you can use it with confidence. To get started, I'll open SharePoint using a web browser. Organizations use Microsoft SharePoint for a number of reasons. SharePoint is an app that you connect to through your web browser for a variety of purposes. Not only can you use it to create websites, you can also use it as a secure place to store, organize, share, and access information from any device. I want to use SharePoint to share presenter files and resources for a skills conference I'm planning with my team. To get started, in the top left corner of office.com, select the app launcher and open SharePoint. I am now at my SharePoint start page. In the top left corner of the SharePoint start page, you'll see options to create sites or create a news post if you want to make an announcement. On the navigation bar on the left, you can easily access your SharePoint start page, the sites you're a member of, new news posts from your sites, and your SharePoint files. In the middle of the page is the news from sites section. This is where you'll find news from the sites that you're a member of. If you see an article you'd like to view later, simply add it to your reading list by selecting the bookmark icon on the article. Once bookmarked, the article is added to your Save for Later section found in the pane on the left. Directly under News Sites is a section that displays your most frequently used SharePoint sites and the recent activity on each of those sites. You can favorite a site here by selecting the star in the upper right corner. This will add the site to your following list. Now that you know your way around SharePoint, you're ready to use your SharePoint start page today. Keeping track of all the communications, documents, and events for one project can be daunting. Luckily, creating a SharePoint team site can help you keep track of all those items in one place. In this lesson, I'll show you how to create your own SharePoint team site so you can collaborate and keep organized. I'm working with a team of people to organize a skills conference together. We're going to use SharePoint as a place to organize our work, so I need to create a team site for us. From my SharePoint start page, which is like my own little SharePoint dashboard, I'll select Create Site. This opens a window where I can choose the type of site I'd like to create. I can choose either a team site or a communication site. A team site can be used to collaborate with the team, whereas a communication site can be used to share content that keeps other people informed. I'll choose a team site to help me collaborate with the presenters for the skills conference. Creating a team site connects your teammates in a group and provides everyone with a shared notebook, email address, and team calendar. I'll name my team Skills Conference Presenters. When you enter a name for your site, SharePoint tells you whether the site name is available. Make sure you choose an available name before you continue. I'll add a site description later, but for now, I want to choose the privacy options. So I'll select Next. When I select Next, it opens the option for me to add site owners and members. I can add members from my organization by typing in their names. I'm only sharing this site with a few people so we can work together and add content. Then I'll be ready to share it with the rest of my colleagues. I'll add Joni, Isaiah, and Lynn. Initially, everyone is added as a member, but I can make a member an owner of the team site by selecting the drop down box next to their roles and selecting owner. Site owners have full administrative control over the site and its content, whereas site members can only edit and view content within the site. I'll add Isaiah as an owner to my site. Just in case I'm ill or on vacation, I want to make sure someone else has full control over the site with me. Once I've decided who will be owners, I'll select Finish to add users and publish the site. At this point, I can start designing my site, but I'll do that later. I'm now at the home page of my newly created team site. On our home page, we have several options in our navigation pane. Since I'm using the site to share files and resources for the skills conference, I'm going to focus on the documents and pages portion of my site. In the document section, I can upload documents and add new folders or new files. In pages, I can see all the pages on my SharePoint site. Right now, I only have the home page. If I want to share a piece of important information with my team, I can go to Home, select Add New, and then select News Post. This takes me to templates where I'll select the blank template, then I'll select Create Post. I'm going to use this post to count down the weeks until the skills conference, so I'm going to name the post to reflect that. I'm going to remind everyone that we have 4 months until the skills conference and ask that they submit their proposals for conference sessions this week. Then I'll select Post News. Now, when I return to the homepage of my SharePoint site, I can see my news post. Eventually, I'll share the site with my whole team, and the countdown will help everyone get excited for the upcoming conference. Now that you know how to create a team site, you're one step closer to collaborating in SharePoint. There will be times when you'll want to share news, a status update on a project, or maybe you want a page where people can learn more about an event or program. In this lesson, I'll show you how to create a SharePoint communication site and show you how to use these sites with your team. From my SharePoint start page, I'll select Create Site. I want to share information and engage other viewers, so I'm going to choose to make this a communication site. I'll name the site Skills Conference Page. For right now, I'll leave the description blank because I'll come back later and describe the site's purpose. After I've named my site, I'll select Finish. After I select Finish, I land on my new communication site, and from here, I can edit content. I want to get everyone excited about the upcoming skills conference, so I'm going to use this site to share information to build anticipation for the event. The site has one page so far, the home page. I like the look of this home page, but I want to see if templates will offer me other options. So I'll go to the upper right corner and select Settings. I have several options to choose from here. The first thing I want to do is apply a site template to help change the overall layout of my site, so I'll select that. Once the Select a Template window opens, you have several templates to choose from. If you hover over a template and select Details, you'll get a clearer picture of the site layout and what the site is used for. I want to see more details on the Showcase template, so I'll select Details. I like the look of the Showcase layout, so I'll select Use Template. I've created a communication site using a template. I'll need to add content to this site before I'm ready to share it with others, but I'm off to a super start. Now you know how to add a communication site in SharePoint. Soon you'll be ready to add content and share your site with others. SharePoint is the ultimate file storage solution to help you keep your digital resources organized and accessible for you and your team. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to create and manage file structures in SharePoint so you can easily access and share files with your team. I'll begin from my SharePoint start page. I'm working on planning a conference with a team of people. I want to create a place for my speakers to submit their proposals. I've created a team in Microsoft Teams for this conference and named it Skills Conference. When you create a team in Microsoft Teams, a site is automatically created for your colleagues in SharePoint to store your group's data. I'll navigate to the Skills Conference team site now. I'll select Documents from the navigation pane to access my document library for this site. After selecting Documents, I can see there are folders for the different channels within the Skills Conference team I created. I want to create a place for speakers to submit proposals. So I'll select the content folder and make a subfolder in there. To create a subfolder, I'll select Add New, then choose Folder, and I'll name it Session Proposals. Then select Create. To add a file to the folder, I'll select the Session Proposal folder I just created. Then I'll select Add New and choose Word Document. This takes me to Word where I can write up my proposal for a session. I want to propose leading a session on creating a SharePoint site, so I'll rename my document How to Create a SharePoint Site. I'll add a brief description of my session so others know what it's about. Next, I'll make sure my document is saved. When I return to my site, I can see my file in the folder I created. I can also upload files to SharePoint, like a finalized speaker flyer. First, I need to navigate to Documents. I want to store this file in my Marketing and PR folder, so I'll select that folder. Since this is a speaker flyer, I'll put it in the Presenter Marketing. Then I'll select Upload. Since I'm uploading a file, I'll choose Files. Next, I'll select the file I want to upload. This file is now in the document library of my SharePoint site, but I can also find this document in Teams. If you select more actions for a file, a menu opens and you can select several different actions you can use in a document library. You can explore these on your own, but I'm going to show you version history. Selecting version history allows you to see when a file was modified and who modified the file. If you hover over the timestamp for your file and select the drop-down button, you can view, restore, or delete a version of your file. Now that you know how to create and upload files in SharePoint, you're ready to start collaborating with your team. When your whole team is using SharePoint, the level of engagement is incredible. To further increase your team's engagement, it's important that you know how to use some of the more advanced features of SharePoint. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to use sections and web parts to add more features within your SharePoint site. To get started, I'll open SharePoint. I've already created a communication site and named it Skills Conference Page for an upcoming conference. Now I want to change the layout and look of the site and add some content. I want to start by changing the layout on this page. The layout of a SharePoint page is made up of different sections. Sections are distinct areas on the page, and each component in a section is called a web part. Before I can make any changes, I need to go to the top right corner and select Edit. On the left bar, I can edit my sections. I simply click the plus and options open up. I can add, edit, move, duplicate, or delete a section from here. I want to remove one of my sections, so I'll scroll down to the section I'd like to remove. Select it, and in the options on the far left, select Delete. I can see the section has been deleted. Now I want to edit the web part in the section at the top of this page. This web part is a hero, which allows you to display up to 5 items using text, images, and links. To edit this web part, I'll select it and select Edit Web Part. I can display my hero web part as tiles or layers. Selecting tiles displays my hero with images and links. Selecting layers displays my hero with images, text, and links. I want to display text and images, so I'll keep layers selected from my layout options. One of the features that makes SharePoint so useful is you can easily edit when you need to add more content. Currently, my site has 3 layers. A layer contains an image, text, and a link. I only have a small amount of content that I want to share, so I only need 1 layer. So under Layout, I will choose the 1 layer layout. Now that I've got the right layout, I can start to edit the image, text, and link for my web part. To edit the individual components of a web part, I need to go to Edit Web Part Details. I need to select the web part and find the Edit Details button. Once selected, an edit menu pops up with the edit options. Right now, I don't need to link anything, so I want to remove the link. I just need to go down to the options menu and expand it. For this web part, the link is actually a part of a call to action. So to remove the link, I'll just select No for Show Call to Action Link. When I'm ready to add a link, I can move Show Call to Action to Yes and add my link, and Call to Action text when I'm ready. I want to change the text for this web part, so I'll edit the title and description to be specific to the skills conference. I see that my new title and description have been added. Now I want to change the image that's displayed on this web part. I'll expand the background image section and select Change. I don't have images of my own to use, so I'll select Stock Images. I'll search for conference in the search bar and select a photo I like. Once I've selected the image, I'll see the image on my page. Under the image in the background section, I will add alternative text to make my site accessible for those who can't see it. The changes I've made look great. I want to add one more thing to my page before I finish: a countdown timer to get the team excited about the upcoming skills conference. I'll close this web part for now. Before I add the countdown timer, I want to clean up my page a bit. I want to select Showcase a variety of images and remove that web part. Now I want to add a new web part, and I'll add a countdown timer. You can change the title and description directly from this web part by selecting them. I'll change the title to Skills Conference and change the description to Countdown to Fun. You can also change the date and time for your countdown, or even add a call to action link or background image. Lots of options to customize the look of this countdown timer. Looks great to me, so I'll close my editing window. I like this look. It's a great landing page, and I know I can come back and easily add or edit more content. I'll select Republish to make sure that when I share my site, everyone else can see the updated version. Now, you can make engaging sites using sections and web parts. Give it a try. Sharing information is key to business success. Your team members may come to your site to learn or to help build the next idea. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to share your SharePoint site with stakeholders. In this example, I'm responsible for organizing a skills conference for my team. I have a team site for presenters working on the conference to collaborate. I also have a communication site to share information about the skills conference with everyone at my company. I want to share the team site and communication site with the right people. From the start page, I want to go to my skills conference presenters team site. I'll select members, and the details of my group membership appear in a window. From here, I can change permissions and add new members to this site. I can also remove members and owners from this group. Now I'll show you how to change permissions on a communication site. I'll navigate to the Skills Conference page. To manage permissions, I'll select Share from the upper right corner. I'm the only owner, and there are no members and no visitors on this site. Owners have full control of the site. Members can view and edit, and visitors can only view the site. From this window, I can also add users or groups to share this site. I want to share the site with everyone except external users, so I'll type in everyone and select everyone except external users. Now I'll select share, and I'll check the permissions again. When sharing with everyone except external users, By default, SharePoint only gives view access or read permissions. If needed, I could change those permissions by selecting the drop down button under Name. I'll close Share Site now. I have successfully shared my communication site and made sure people had the appropriate access. Now you can share any site you create with the appropriate people. You can collaborate with a team or create an engaging site to get people excited about an upcoming event. We've reached the end of this course, but this is just the start of your journey using Teams and SharePoint to take your teamwork to a new level. You may want to deepen a few of the skills you learned in this course or learn totally new skills as you advance. At Microsoft Support, you can find a variety of videos to help you refresh and learn new skills. You can also attend online classes at virtual workshops and online training from Microsoft Store. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you use these new skills to help your teams work more efficiently. Good luck.